how you hit it on the head when you said that we don't see any big plays. I don't know what you're looking at. It's just like kind of wallowing in the muck, it seems like at times. The same old thing that we've been seeing for the last couple of years, that it's a game that they should have won, that they give away turnovers turn into points again. And, the defense is playing well at times, and then you give them short fields, and Northwestern takes it in and capitalizes on that. You get in the red zone. How many times in the last two games that they've been in the red zone, 7 or 8 times, like something like that, maybe 9 times. Yeah. And they've come away with 3 touchdowns in 2 games. You can't win like that. So there's obviously, some things that need to change. And, Coach Frost had an open competition week at all positions. And, hopefully they can bounce back. There were some positives to take away from that game, but it just left me with more questions than I have answers to. That's kind of the way it's been for a while here. So, it's another big test this weekend, and we'll see if they can put together a complete football game on both sides of the ball. I'm sure Chris probably saw about the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like after I talked to Mark after the game, it was I don't know, it was just kind of a boring 3 hours for me. It was just kind of, you just sat there, and I got to give Northwestern their credit. They're always just a solid team, and they got some great linebackers, but there were no explosive plays. You got in the red zone with chances to put points up, and they didn't do it. So it was just kind of lackluster, and you just kind of wanted them to make that big play, and it just never happened.
Yeah, if you compare the two teams in regards to what's expected, and even though Northwestern's certainly been a formidable team, they won the division 2 years ago, they play a certain brand of football. Nebraska has, we've got the recruiting guy right here to evaluate talent. Just the more explosive, the faster team, the more explosive players, and not to be able to make something happen is certainly alarming. Even though Northwestern, we could all look at their past, they are a master, and Pat Fitzgerald and his staff, at putting their players in the right position and limiting that athletic differential that they face against most teams, certainly the upper half of the Big Ten. But Greg, I'm sure you watch these games a little bit differently than the rest of us because of your expertise and your background in recruiting. But when you just watch athletes out there, where are you seeing Nebraska stand against the Northwestern and against the rest of the Big Ten?
Well, obviously, when you do look at it on paper, the star power is definitely on Nebraska's side. I think number one, you got to get these guys consistently on the field. They have to be able to be on the field in the first place. I think Coach Frost talked about it again today about a lot of these young, very talented kids that have missed a lot of practice time and have been trying to play catch up. It seems to be kind of the story we hear all the time. We want to see these guys on the field. Last week, Omar Manning, he had 4 snaps in the game. Robin Washut from Husker Online, he had some numbers out there he put out today. These young receivers have played 14 snaps out of 148 against Ohio State and Northwestern. That's after Alante Brown, who has played, Marcus Fleming's played 51 and Alante Brown's played 32. And, these guys just aren't on the field very much right now. And that's kind of my biggest concern is, how come we're not seeing these guys? Xavier Betts got in there and had a couple of catches early last week. But the rest of them, they're just not seeing the field. And hopefully, from what I'm seeing, it is a slow process. And I think the coaching staff is working these very talented young guys in slowly. And that's why you're seeing some walk-ons like Wyatt Lever playing a lot of snaps on the offense. And I think, as they get the hang of things and as they stay healthy and get used to the speed of the college game, I think you do see more of that. Running back as well. You got a bunch of young guys. You've got one guy back there, Dedrick Mills, who's has experience, but then the rest of them, they don't have any. Ronald Tompkins was a guy that won the number 2 job, and then he missed practice time last week, so he didn't play. You saw, Marvin Scott III came in, stepped up in that spot. Ramir Johnson, he was expected to do big things. We saw flashes of him last year. Then you've got Savion Morrison, a true freshman that's waiting in the wings. He's been banged up, and hopefully he can get healthy again. And the same old story, just like we were talking about with the receivers. You want to see these guys on the field. You want to see what they can do. So that's my biggest thing. And then you get a lot of guys on defense there. I think those young guys are stepping up. You saw Miles Farmer last week, who had a couple of picks, and great game there. So I think it's the more reps these guys get, the better they're going to be. And right now there's nobody else. It's time for them to all step up and grow up real fast and learn how to play Big Ten football.